be in conversation with Mr. Padman Butch. He is an extremely experienced professional, and we are so honored to have him with us. He's got over 3 decades of combined experience in corporate industry and academics. He's been a trainer. He's inspired so many budding entrepreneurs. He's been the managing director at Gujarat Industrial and Technical Consultancy Organization. He's also managed a and self-sustained organization with strong link in the government. He's worked very closely with MSMEs, private sector enterprises, financial institutions, and has been senior advisor for corporate strategy on a lot of properties, especially projects which involve intellectual property rights. He's been a faculty member with EDII as well as Gujarat Technological University, Nirma University, among others. He is going to be speaking to us on how to strategize an entrepreneur's journey. And this is so beautifully in sync with the vision of Vyapar Jagat. Because Vyapar Jagat, when it was founded, the commitment was to not only tell the stories and give a platform to aspiring entrepreneurs, budding entrepreneurs, and seasoned entrepreneurs, but also to be able to empower them to grow further, no matter at what stage they are in their entrepreneurial journey. And Mr. Padman Butch's experience of over 3 decades is something that is going to only help us fortify this vision even further. Before we begin today's chat, I would request Vishal from the team to please present a small video that will give you all an idea into the whole vision of Vyapar Jagat. Vishal? Thank you. I think the entire peppiness of that video is something that will translate into today's evening as well. And this is a wonderful start to this exciting evening. I'm personally excited. Uh, so, to also give you a small introduction about myself, I'm Neha Ved. The reason I'm personally excited is because I'm also a budding entrepreneur. And it could not have been more exciting to be a part of a conversation where we are going to discuss strategizing an entrepreneur's journey. And today, I'm sure all our listeners and viewers across all the various channels and mediums where we are present at right now, I'm sure they are also excited to begin their entrepreneurial journey. So, sir, let's first understand and help them understand that why is entrepreneurship so vital for this economy? Because in the recent times, we've seen a lot of boom, with the Make in India vision and the call for Atmanirbhar Bharat, and there've been a lot of entrepreneurs who've come out and started, walking on the path of their dream, fulfilling their dream. What does this mean for the economy of in general and for a country like India?
Yeah, thank you, Neha. In the first, I must thank the Vyapar Jagat for inviting me to share, I would not say expertise, but the experience and whatever knowledge we gain over a period of time. So thank you for inviting me. Thank you, Neha, for a kind introduction. And just like you, I'm also excited, because this kind of forum always helps learn more. And coming back to your very first question, I'm also happy that we are starting with the right foot forward, because entrepreneurship, this is the theme of today's conversation. And entrepreneurship, as you very well said, everybody knows we have been talking about a lot. But do we really believe why we are talking about it a lot? Look, every individual has a two option when he or she comes up in the career. Either that person goes for a job, works for somebody, or that person sets up his or her own unit, enterprise. Whether small, big is not important. Now, what happens? Suppose a person like you, Neha, for example, you go and set up an enterprise. You start by yourself. Then maybe after some time you employ 2%. Then after some time you employ 10%, and this goes on. Now, this is something, the basis of entrepreneurship, why it is being encouraged around the globe, not only India, also. It gives employment opportunities to others. In a country like ours, where there is a very large, substantial segment of educated, qualified young people. And when I say young people, it starts from 20 years to 35 years. That is the definition of young people. Qualified, educated. Where do they work? Are there enough opportunities? So entrepreneurship, one of the key reasons why it is being encouraged is that any country will grow with the setting up of more and more enterprises. It helps employment, which is the basic requirement for any country. Second thing, the moment a new enterprise is set up, a new business is set up, a new venture is set up, it starts directly contributing to the economy, as you said. No, we talk about a lot of, no, we have a lot of utilize word, the economy, business, GDP, gross domestic product, like this. These are fine. These are economic parameters. But how does it improve? Because of the entrepreneurship. Now, I will just give you an example. I have traveled a lot in recent years, I would say, like Japan. Japan is one country which is everybody would like to emulate. And we are happy, India and particularly Gujarat, we are happy that we are going to have a very strong tie with Japan. Now, Japan, now present the issue is what, they are not getting their generation, the next generation, to go for the business they have set up. So they don't have people to work on it. So they want to create new entrepreneurs. If I am having my own enterprise, but my next generation is some reason or other, they are independent. So who will take up the problem? If whether that unit will close down. So there is another set of entrepreneurs which are invited to join an existing setup. So that is why I also use the word new and ready-made entrepreneurs. So coming back to your question, entrepreneurship has to be encouraged for a country like India, particularly, to see that it contributes directly in terms of employment generation and, of course, directly contributing in economic upbringing. This is the basic reason for encouraging entrepreneurship. And the efforts are on since many years, but in recent years, fortunately, it has acquired some concrete shape. And as you also rightly mentioned, the Make in India is one campaign targeted toward this. So that more people, it is people from outside also to come to India and from within India also to see that they go and make something in India. They may export it. Okay. They may have tie-up, but something in India. So this is something which is the bottom line, the key reason why we want to encourage entrepreneurs in our country.
Right, right. No, I I actually like the whole premise of, what you said, that sometimes it's nice to be able to create your own opportunity and, to generate and do work which is a little different than what others are. And entrepreneurship gives you that whole
Absolutely.
leeway, which
Absolutely.
is why I think I'm also an example. After working for about 15 years, I decided that now I want to do something different and contribute to the industry in a larger way. And that is why about, a few years ago, I moved into being an entrepreneur from a job goer.
Yeah, yeah. That's
And
right.
the youth of India is largely, kind of in the same space and following that kind of a trend. But there's always two words which are constantly buzzing. One is startup and one is entrepreneur. And a lot of people find it very cool to say, hey, I have my startup, hey, I'm an entrepreneur.
Yeah, yeah.
Then
No,
this
no,
is
I think
especially,
I think you're very.
the
I
yeah.
agree. You're right. In fact, this startup and enterprise, I think you're right. It has created confusion also, and sometimes I've seen it because no, we all are. Particularly, I am in this field since long. Since this startup has come up, there is some kind of not only confusion, but some people are really kind of disheartened. Oh, the startups are going to take over. There is no space for entrepreneurship. Or else
Right.
there is suppose there is an enterprise related course going on. Should we change it to startup training course? This is let me try. I think it's a good that we discussing this part. I would say one thing: every startup is an entrepreneur. Because what is entrepreneurship? Entrepreneurship is going for setting up your own unit based on what you have decided, what one has decided, explored, taken a decision about the selection of a business opportunity, going the entire gamut, setting up your own enterprise, own venture, managing it, running it successfully, going all the way and growing further. So every startup is an entrepreneur. That's fine. Now, whether every entrepreneur is a startup, yes and no, I would say that. Yes, because all said and done, he also is starting something. What is startup? He's starting. Why no? Because no, the startup is an official term coined by the government of India under the Startup India scheme uh, launched by our Honorable Prime Minister in the year 2015-16. Now, that term startup has certain connotations. There are criteria laid down who can be registered as a startup. There are 4 or 5 criteria, not very stringent, but there are some definite criteria. First and foremost, it should have an element of innovation. That project, whether you can call enterprise or a venture, should have a definite innovative thing going into it. Then are entrepreneurs not innovative? They are also innovative. For an enterprise, I also can set up one more unit of ready-made garment, for example. I can also set up one more unit of manufacturing PVC pipe. And it is just like any other product. I may be successful, nothing wrong with it. I am giving employment, so to be encouraged. But is there some element of innovation? A startup need to have an element of innovation. A startup unit cannot be more than 5 or 7 years old. It cannot cross a turnover limit of 35 crores. So these are the criteria laid down by Department of Industry Policy and Promotion, Government of India, as also Government of Gujarat Startup Cell, which is under the office of the Commissioner of Industry. આપણે જેને ઉદ્યોગ કમિશનરની ઓફિસ કહીએ એની નીચે છે. So these are the criteria. I am also one of the evaluator in the startup scheme of Government of Gujarat. So we evaluate when Government of Gujarat has a good scheme of giving finance to the startup. This is evaluated. So every entrepreneur may not be startup if we consider that. Otherwise, but I would always suggest and I would request strongly everybody that beyond this, we should not go into the very finer thing about startup and entrepreneurs. Let us not try to muddle the entire scenario. Entrepreneurship is entrepreneurship. Startups are entrepreneurs. So we focus on entrepreneurs. Okay. Second thing that leads me to say, there is no age limit. People say startups, that means young people. Yes, normally young people are okay. Who is young? Because my white hair, I am not young. I am young. Say yes.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Neha. That's good enough. No, the point is that, I can give you names of such startups in Ahmedabad who have set up their startup venture, which is an enterprise at the age of 56 years, at the age of 48 years, and at the age of 62 years, to give
Wow.
a few of them. And they are recorded. They have
Yeah.
been documented in a book brought out by Government of Gujarat. It was also a book brought out by Entrepreneurship Development Institute of India. These startups have also been documented. Why? Because they went for something very new. Like one startup who started after 50 years of age. He came out with a very good innovation where visually impaired people who have disability vision, for उनके लिए ऐसा शूज बनाया कि so that instead of that stick,
Yeah.
the shoes itself will work as a guide. Now, he started as a 50 years onwards. So, coming back to your question, startups and enterprise are a little bit different in terms of the purely definition, but every startup is entrepreneur. Every entrepreneur can also be called as a startup. So, beyond that, let us not confuse it. Let us call everybody entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs is something very good. If you remember that movie, English.
Yeah.
That Sridevi is not there, but Sridevi was the leading lady of that movie, English.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now she used to be a housewife, and she was not considered to be something. Oh, she is a housewife. She doesn't know English, and maybe when she goes to USA, joins a English class, the professor, teacher of the English class says, "Oh, you are an entrepreneur," because she was making laddus at home.
Correct.
And giving to the people. Now, this is enterprise. We should consider this as an entrepreneur, whether it's a startup or entrepreneur. Somebody is doing on his own, making money on his own, earning on his own, and contributing as a whole to his family's income and a society income. So that is my take on the startup and enterprise. I think that.
In fact, this is a beautiful example. Like she had actually had a business that she was running from home, and that's what qualified her as an entrepreneur. And if we look at it, especially during this pandemic, there have been so many new businesses that have started from home.
Right.
People started making masks and selling them from home. People started food related ventures and selling them from home. There were people who started making certain disinfectant soaps and those kind of sanitization products, which they started doing at home. They started a lot of businesses from home, and one also saw that platforms like Swiggy and Zomato were helping a lot of homegrown businesses to reach households.
Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
it's actually a good time for entrepreneurs who are able to innovate. And but still there is a question that is normally there on anyone who's keen to start off on this entrepreneurial journey, that what are the challenges that they are likely to face, and what are the opportunities that they can tap into, especially in the existing scenario.
I think very well put. Yes, I am happy that we are utilizing the word challenges and not limitation or constraints.
Absolutely.
Okay, because yes, why there are challenges? Because there is something which it is not a normal thing. So that is why it's a challenge. So, but we don't, let us not call it constraint or limitation. It is a challenge because challenges we can take up. Okay, and constraint gives us a kind of a negative connotation. Yes. As we say, what is entrepreneurship? Entrepreneurship is setting one's own venture as against joining somebody as an employee. Now, that itself is the basic challenge. I am working. I am getting a monthly salary, a yearly salary. I am taken care of. I work from 10 to 6 or 9 to 7, whatever. I go back home, come next day, go again. Enterprise, first and foremost, I am not sure on the third day what is going to happen. What is going to happen on the seventh day? I am not sure. Okay, after 3 months, what is going to be there? Yes, I have projected everything. I have prepared a project report. But that is on paper. The first challenge for any entrepreneur or any startup is to face uncertainty. And this uncertainty has to be converted into manageable certainty. That is the first challenge. Uncertainty, because all the entrepreneurship development institutions, schools. I saw one Mr. Chandramouli on the audience. Dr. Chandramouli is a doyen of this entrepreneurship world over. Okay, he knows very well. The first thing is said, what are the traits of an entrepreneur? Entrepreneur में कौन सी quality होनी चाहिए? Let us know. Later on, maybe we may talk about it. Whether it's acquired or inbuilt, that is different thing. First is risk taking. Now, this risk taking is not that you can just go out and, oh, I am a risk taker, I can do anything. Not like that. Risk taking is to, as I said, to face uncertainty. We have decided that this will happen, but it might not happen. Unlike a job where you know it is going to happen. So this is the first challenge of, I am talking about individual entrepreneurs, and that is what we are focusing on.
Yeah,
like strategizing,
yeah,
because we want to tell all the budding people, young or whatever you call it, to go and set up enterprise in the right manner, which we may discuss later on also, maybe right enterprise. So the message is to all the individuals, basically, that the first quality you need to have is to have an element of taking risk. That is understanding that there is going to be some uncertainty. You have to be prepared for that. And after preparing also still something which you are not able to resolve, go and try. So that is first challenge. Second challenge is to see that competition part of it. Now, as an entrepreneur, I cannot come out with the out of the world or totally monopoly. अभी ये दुनिया में तो monopoly जैसा कोई word रहा ही नहीं है.
Correct.
Because the world is open. It's a global village. Everybody knows about everything. Okay. The second challenge is what we call competition. Now, because most of the people have that idea that I have got an idea which is nobody knows about.
Right. Right.
So that is a competition.
Correct.
And for that, you have to be innovative. Some innovation. No, when I talk to students in institutions like Entrepreneurship Development Institute of India, EDI, or any such institute. No, many of the students are children of a family which already have a business.
Right.
So they might be joining the business. I tell them that you are going to join your family business. What is that you are going to do? Once again, I am going to expand.
Right.
I say not only expand, innovate also. Because if you simply expand, somebody else also going to expand. So that is a competition.
Correct.
So that is the second challenge of, Third challenge comes, which is something about a personal kind of thing. Again, I'm talking about this because this is the insider thing kind of thing. The books doesn't talk about all these things. Is to overcome the, whether we call it resistance, opposition, or the difference of opinion of the family or the society. If you want to become an entrepreneur or somebody wants to become an entrepreneur, his family may say, भैया क्यों ये सब में जाना चाहते हो? लोग गुजरात में हम तो मालूम नहीं, आप गुजरात के बाहर जाइए तो पता चलेगा. If somebody in Uttar Pradesh or Madhya Pradesh, even in Maharashtra, they say कि भाई मैं अपना खुद प्रोजेक्ट डालना चाहता हूँ. जैसे क्या जरूरत है, इतनी अच्छी जॉब मिल रही है, you are educated person, अब तक क्यों डालना चाहते हो प्रोजेक्ट? गुजरात में it is other way around, entrepreneurship. So that is the challenge, to convince the family, convince the society that what I want to propose is required to be done, and I am ready to go for it. I am ready to work for it. Everything I am ready to go for it. Now, these are the challenges. One may not say. Normal people say challenges finance nahi mil raha hai. Normally people say market nahi mil raha hai. Yeah, there are challenges, but these are the challenges which I would like to emphasize, is because this has to start with that. If you are comfortable in that, automatically other things will follow. But if you are not able to manage it, and let me tell you, any individual who he or she wants to become an entrepreneur should have basic support of the family or larger fraternity of the society. Not in terms of the knowledge or business or finance only. They should feel that, yeah, my son or daughter is going for it, is going something good. If he is not able to good thing, I am sure he or she will take care of it. So that is a challenge we have to take into account. And again, as I said, these challenges are not given always in the textbooks. And that is why sometimes some people never go for entrepreneurship. Some people say, oh, family ko itna maja nahi aaya, so we forget about it. And that is where we come to the next challenge. You have to decide as early as possible, to the extent possible. Yeah. If I work for 10 years in a fairly okay job, naturally you will agree, everybody will agree that our drive, our enthusiasm, our keenness to start our own venture will go down.
Yeah, I agree.
We become comfortable in what is called status quo. Status quo is what I'm happy. I'm fairly happy. क्या जरूरत है? वो आगे बताता है. Then what I suggested talk about a few are exceptional cases, but most of the time after 5 years, 7 years, or 10 years, naturally the drive will go down. And somebody also say be family over care. So that is the challenge we have to again keep in mind. Again, I'm emphasizing the challenges I'm talking about are not related to not getting finance. That I will come. So these are the basic challenge everybody has to keep in mind from the moment I take classes, for example, in MBA programs of Ahmedabad University or 2 or 3 institutions. I tell every MBA student, keep in mind, a corner of mind, after completing your MBA, try to do something on your own. You may work for 1 or 2 years, nothing wrong with that, or 2 to 3 years. Keep in mind, a corner of the mind, can you do something on your own? Because after 3rd year, you might not be that keen to do that. So these are the things which are not textbook kind of challenges, but they are challenges which are everywhere. Again, you also travel, you travel around the year. Everybody faces that kind of thing, particularly country like ours. Okay, so these are the kind of things. Next set of challenges comes in terms of the macro environment. Convincing the outer periphery of people. After convincing the family, convincing the bank, convincing the government, convincing the technology supplier, convincing the customer. So these are the challenges faced later on, and these are challenges. To convince the bank to give the finance, to convince the government to give the required incentive, to convince the market or stockist or the consumer that my product is better than other products to take it. These are the challenges, which is a normal challenges for any enterprise, but they are challenges. Opportunity, every challenge is an opportunity. Every challenge is an opportunity. The moment I am able to convince my family, it's a great opportunity to tell the family that here is somebody who's different than others. The moment you are able to convince the bank, it's a great opportunity to convince an outside world. That's the opportunity you have to take. You have to prepare for that.
Yeah.
So these are the key challenges, opportunities. But I will end this answer by telling that the biggest challenge for any entrepreneur are two. One is the market, other is the finance. World over, particularly India, all the surveys done time and again, particularly covering the small and medium enterprises, what we call SMEs, the reason for unit not performing well or performing less than what they were supposed to perform, or sometimes becoming sick units, the number one reason has always been lack of market, not getting the adequate right kind of market. Second thing, not able to manage the working capital. જેને ગુજરાતીમાં આપણે કાચું મૂડી કહીએ છીએ, day to day working માટેની capital. Yes. So these are the real challenges once an entrepreneur starts working. These are the opportunities are always part of the challenges, but opportunities, I would say that the world has opened out. The biggest opportunity for India, Gujarat and Ahmedabad are the world now. You know, we are not related to any political party. But the fact remains, the last few years, world is looking to India in some different manner. You go to any country, a country which is known, a country which is not unknown. They say, oh, India, yeah. And the pandemic has even reinforced that kind of thing. People are looking to India to supply goods of all kinds.
Yeah.
It's the biggest opportunity. I keep on telling. I was chairman of the Foreign Trade Committee, Gujarat Chamber of Commerce. I am also co-chairman of MSME committee. We keep telling people, go for exporting. It's possible. Even small units can go for exporting. It's one of the biggest opportunity for entrepreneurs, particularly who are going to just want to start. From the day one, they should keep in mind that they will export it. They will get all the guidance. They will all the support. So this is the biggest opportunity that now India has been able to cut that kind of barrier. No, there is an English word here. It's called glass ceiling. No, what is glass ceiling? After reaching certain level, I have to go up, but I can see what is up, but I cannot go because there is a ceiling in between. वो glass की बनी होती. I can see, but I cannot go. We have been able to break the glass ceiling to a great extent. So that is one of the biggest opportunity for entrepreneurs, international market. I would say that is what that's my take.
In fact, I think it's a beautiful time because with digitization growing so much and, even India taking so much to digitization and now the pandemic forcing us to largely take up digitization also, the glass ceiling is breaking even faster because, we are able to tap into so many new avenues and uncharted markets as well. And I think that is one of the biggest challenges that we had, where there were a lot of entrepreneurs who felt they could think global, but they were not able to go global because of a lot of limitations. And with digitization, it's become possible.
Absolutely. I think you very well put it. You said two things. One is that digitizers are able to communicate so fast, so quickly, and any time to the world. It is a kind of almost like a 24/7, considering the time zone. 24/7 is the world is working nowadays. And second thing also you just mentioned that I also like to emphasize is that new products, new product market segments. As compared to 5 years or 10 years back, you see the kind of products we are dealing with, the kind of products we are getting in our own market, local market also. 10 years back, you cannot. So now if you go to any supermarket, you get a 25 varieties of the cheese available. Okay.
Yes.
Why that is available? Because people are travel, अगर कुत्ते को ये craft चीज नहीं मिलता है तो बोलेगा अच्छा लोग भाग रहे हैं तो हम लाके देते हैं. Because world is open now. There are no problems in terms of importing or exporting. And the people, young people like you and other young people also, they don't want to hesitate. They try out the new product. Like food processing, for example, is one segment which is a great opportunity for a country like India. Because we are a diverse country and we can come out with a whole variety of foods, hygienic, nutritious, well-made, which can be stored very well. It's one of the biggest opportunity which has come up in the Another opportunity I would just like to add before this ending this is that while I say intro, there is another opportunity of also value addition. Now, what is a value addition in entrepreneurship? You make, for example, a fabric. Can we make a garment out of this? Then value is added. Then we make a better garment, a different garment, more value is added. Every stage further adds value. Just जो सभी लोग एग्जांपल दे रहे हैं, हम मानते हैं a normal potato, उसका भाव अगर सब्जी मंडी में जाएंगे बहुत बड़ा मिलेंगे तो 2 रुपये 1 रुपया मिल जाएगा किलो में, 5 रुपये. The moment it reaches becomes a potato chips wafer, different brands, a 10 gram or 20 gram packet will cost you a lot of money. If you convert into the final basic product price, 1 रुपया किलो potato का भाव हो जाएगा maybe 100 rupees something. It's a simple value addition. I have another example. Gujarat exports almost 70% of a product called isabgul. उसको botanical name is psyllium husk. 70% of the world's isabgul market, which is just near northern Gujarat Rajasthan border, 70% of the isabgul is being exported from here, and world's 70 to 80% is supplied by India and Gujarat and Rajasthan. Now, this entire isabgul It's utilized in various products. It's a laxative also and other products also. It is sent in the either semi-processed form or a raw form. बाहर जाके उसका conversion होता है final product, and the value goes up like anything. Why can't we make biscuit out of Isabgul?
Right.
Why can't we make cookies out of Isabgul? You know, every pizza you and me eat, every pizza, single pizza, forget about brands, has a Isabgul in it.
Oh.
It is in ask any को आप जब ये फ्रीज लैंड को पूछ लो यार पीछे को जाकर जवाब दे तो ठीक है. Now my point is that this is value addition.
Right.
Value addition is converting the raw material into final further product, which gives us not only added money and contribution, that also gives us a control of the market. So this is another opportunity we need to give a serious thought to it. जरा उसमें मेहनत करना पड़ेगा, but that is a great opportunity for our kind of entrepreneurial state. That is our state.
Right. You know, from what you said, it's actually something that really emphasizes the fact that if you can think something differently, then you can definitely do something differently. Like how you mentioned, why can't we create Isabgol cookies, or why can't we create Isabgol biscuits? You know, they did that with protein by creating Treptin biscuits, you know, and that's actually high protein, high fiber for people who would like to, you know, who need it. Either they have deficiencies or they are working out or bodybuilding or whatever. And Isabgol is something that really is, you know, needed in a lot of people for.
This is one basic example, and that is very true also. That's very true.
Yeah. This actually is a beautiful example of how the right strategy can actually help you succeed when you want to be an entrepreneur. And, you know, you create a certain innovation and you strategize given the current market or the current situation. Also, your strategy needs to be constantly evolving. So how does one strategize? What are the key steps and phases that one needs to, you know, bear in mind to be able to achieve this kind of a level?
Right, I think good question. I think now we are talking about some kind of a systematic process, for example. If I want to become an entrepreneur, what do I do? It's something like that.
Yeah.
Whether we call strategizing or going step by step. The first and foremost thing in enterprise setting is selecting the right kind of business opportunity. Now, many of the entrepreneurs who set up, they have business opportunity decided based on various criteria. It could be family business, it could be suggested by somebody, or they themselves have seen it and liked it, or ये बहुत product बाजार में बेच रहा है, I will also able to sell it. It could be n number of basis. But there is a systematic process called business opportunity identification. It's a several step process, not a theoretical process, my dear. But step by step process, which tells how to go ahead and select a particular business opportunity or a project idea or entrepreneur idea. Now it starts with preparing or assessing personal profile. Now again, people don't give much attention. Every project, every business opportunity is not for everybody. As simple as that. I've been a consultant all throughout my life. Okay. I have two choices when somebody comes to me to suggest a project. Now, people come to me for an individual also, large company also come to me. Okay. I can suggest them, particularly individual entrepreneurs, small entrepreneurs, I can suggest them a fantastic out of the world idea. He or she will be very picky. Bootstrap में क्या idea बताया? Fantastic idea है. सचमुच बहुत expert है. But that idea is out of the world, and for that person will have to go out of the world. क्योंकि वो idea वो डाल ही नहीं सकेगा इधर. He doesn't have that technological assessment. He doesn't have that kind of wherewithal. He doesn't have that kind of infrastructure or entire gamut with him. Ecosystem. Every project is not for everybody. Personal profile is what? I have to assess myself. Or if a group of friends working on it, so everybody decide कि वो हमारा strength, जिसको बोला SWOT analysis, simple. Strength, weakness, opportunity analysis. Assessing ourselves. What we are good at, what we can do, and what we are not good at. what we cannot do, something which we cannot do, we have not to attempt in the first effort. After 5 years, you can do anything. It is not like no matchmaking. गर्ल एंड बॉय मिलते हैं, इसको तो हॉरोस्कोप मिलाते हैं ना. हॉरोस्कोप मिल गया, मंगल आता है नहीं आता है, गुरु आता है नहीं आता है, इसमें एक्सेप्ट नॉट लाइक दैट, बट वी हैव टू असेस every, like agriculture project. Agriculture project are, it's a wide demand. It's a very good project. Everybody cannot set up an agriculture project. Cultivating a crop, cultivating a fruit, growing a fruit is not easy. We don't understand. It is not a machine-made thing. Agriculture project, everybody cannot set up. Similarly, high-tech project, everybody cannot set up.
Yeah.
Pharmaceutical project of certain kind cannot be set up by everyone. You have to see who you are, what kind of strength you have got, what kind of keenness you have got. What is keenness? Keenness is that yes, I can do it. Somehow or other I am able to relate to it. Otherwise, somehow or other I am not able to do it. That is something which is so much necessary to understand. So what we are talking about, the strategizing to be an entrepreneur, the steps. The first step is identifying the business opportunity. First, you decide what you can do, what you can do. Now, sometimes family tradition. My family is a Jain family. We don't eat. We don't believe in garlic and onion. Ideally, I should not go for garlic onion project because every time I will face some kind of challenge for them. Okay. Another thing is investment limit. Never try to go beyond what you can invest. Loan मिलने वाला है, finance मिलने वाला है, but that has to be given back with the interest. I always tell people, यार के साथ वापस देना होता है. Correct. Every successful entrepreneur I've heard and listened to, they say always keep a margin of 15 to 20% with you पहले प्रोजेक्ट के लिए. मालूम नहीं कब जरूरत पड़े. So identifying and selecting a business opportunity is a systematic process. Stepwise, you have to go, you have to check yourself, then create a pool of project ideas, business ideas, then again check उसमें मेरे लिए कौन सा है, मेरे लिए कौन सा नहीं है. And the most important part of selecting the business opportunity is that look into the market, what people want. No, suppose somebody wants to manufacture a laptop. Now, laptop काफी लोग बना रहे हैं, but still every laptop user will have something in mind कि मेरे को जो चाहिए ऐसा नहीं मिल रहा है. Can we find out such niche slots? Can we find out certain pain points? जिसको बोलते हैं कि ये लोगों को मजा नहीं आ रहा है, they are not happy. इसको pain point बोलते हैं. Can we come out with a project business idea which is a pain point, solution to that? Or can we come out with the idea which has an alternatives, like alternative energy, alternative fuel? These are the key things any new entrepreneur should keep in mind. If he or she does that, when he comes into the market, the market is waiting for it. So that is first thing. Second thing is the preparation of a very well documented, and these are not theoretical, a good report. You can call it project report, you can call it a viability report, you can call it feasibility report. Report is my face, entrepreneurs. If I go to you are a banker, I go to government, okay, I want to set up this particular project. Okay, fine. So I am very confident it's fine. Have you read the report? Report पढ़ने के बाद that person will look at me or the entrepreneur. हाँ, अभी कुछ बराबर है. You cannot tell entrepreneur, yeah, I am a creative fellow, I am a risk taker, I can do anything. Don't worry about the report. No, ऐसा नहीं चलता है. That is where systems approach चाहिए. Identifying, selecting the business opportunity right for you. You should be comfortable. At the end of the day, whether I can make it, whether I can sell it, whether I can make profit out of this. 3 questions. And I am comfortable with that also. नहीं तो क्या होता है बोला, कई गले में माला पहना देते हैं ना किसी और, तो he will always be cribbing. अरे मैंने बोला था मेरे के लिए अच्छा नहीं है, देखो आया हुआ है. अगर खुद ने चूज किया होगा तो he or she will make a match of it. Selecting the right business opportunity, preparing a very well documented project report, getting the required finance. It becomes automatical if you prepare a good report and work on it yourself. Side by side, you create setting up an infrastructure is a stepwise, looking for the location, looking for the supporting people, considering everything. That is the third stage finance. Fourth stage is having a network. आपका प्रोडक्ट कोई ना कोई तो बनाता ही होगा मार्केट.
Correct.
You only have to, the entrepreneur only has to say कि भाई आप तो ऑलरेडी प्रोडक्ट 3 लोगों से ले रहे हैं, आप 4 लोग बना रहे हैं. Keep me in mind. You can try me also. So before I come into the production, मेरी प्रोडक्ट बाहर निकले, इसको मेरे को मालूम कि इतने लोगों तो मेरा ट्राई करने के लोग को तैयार है. They are not guaranteeing कि आप लेंगे पर. These 4 steps in all nutshell are the key part of it. Identifying and selecting the right business opportunity, preparing a very well documented project report, and there is enough guidance, mentorship, and support available for this. Let me tell you both the steps. Okay. Tying up with a financial institution to get finance. You should know कि मेरे को finance मिलने वाला है. It's good enough. And at that point, prepare a network of the. That's right. This is what is called a systematic approach, a strategic approach. What is strategic? Strategy word है war में use होता है. You know what is required to be done. You know what competitors are doing. So you strategize accordingly. Selection of the business opportunity is nothing but strategic thing. If you select the right kind of business opportunity, I would say half of the better one. ये सब स्टेज होता है ना, उसको बोलते हैं प्री इन्वेस्टमेंट फेज. रोकाण करता પહેલાનો તબક્કો ગુજરાતીમાં જે લોકો ખ્યાલ હશે. The phase where you are going to invest before whatever you can check up. If you don't do it, it's quite likely to face failure, because if you do it, you know what you can expect in the market when you go to the market. Even some of the larger exit companies also, they sometimes take it overconfidently. नया project के लिए they don't check out and they face problems. So pre-investment जिसको बोलते हैं, even if you or we want to buy a house, we check out thoroughly, right? Before investing. Yeah, ये तो entrepreneurship है. Before setting up enterprise, in a pre-investment phase, you check out and select the right business opportunity and do the next 3 phases in terms of preparation of project report, tying it with the finance, and setting up a market network. Then is open field. You have to fight it out. But because you are prepared, you know what to expect, what to anticipate. You know that there is going to be some time, there are going to be some issues. At the same time, I am going to have some break in. So this is what we say strategizing and entrepreneurship in terms of the various steps. Other things we follow. Then if there are some issues come, that is to be taken on a issue to issues basis. That is right.
Interesting. I think it's a very nice blueprint, you know.
Yeah. And one should not hesitate in following steps. इसमें कुछ theoretical नहीं है. Everything is a practical thing.
And it's absolutely in one way of looking at it is that it's common sense, but it's also small minute details that one doesn't really pay attention to.
Yeah,
you know, it's God is in the detail, like they say, you know. And this is a beautiful blueprint. I'm sure that people, especially who are aspiring to be entrepreneurs, I think it will really serve as a guideline for them. Thank you so much for those wonderful insights. And
thank you. I'm sure it will help people. Yeah, sure.
Yes. So tell me this now, sir. Now that, you know, a lot of thought has been given, we've thought about, you know, what the challenges are, what our opportunities can be. We've got our blueprint on, you know, how to take the plunge. But when we do that, we constantly also speak about, you know, resources and the necessity of resources. I'm sure, given the fact that India is welcoming and encouraging entrepreneurs so much, there is a lot of resources available out there that we can tap into, but we may not be really aware of. So enlighten us on the ecosystem that's available for entrepreneurship.
Yeah, true, very true. I think that is the missing part in what we have discussed so far. And ecosystem or the resource system is the right word. Look, we talk about the various stages.
Yeah.
Now, identifying, selecting the business opportunity, then getting the finance, okay, preparing a report, okay, and marketing piece. For all and other things also, there is a very good ecosystem, as you said, very well developed in last several years. There are several institutions. There are several incubation center, which is being called now incubation center, which are a kind of laboratories to generate and select ideas. Just like in laboratory, we chemicals. Here is a place where you can generate ideas, you can test the ideas to some extent, and hopefully decide on a one or two particular idea. So there is an entire gamut of institutions. It could be an out and out entrepreneurial institute like EDI or other institute, or all the universities and larger academic institutions have their incubation centers. There are other incubation centers also, like IIM has a CII, Center for Innovation and Incubation. Then Government of Gujarat has an incubation center called iCreate, exclusive for that. So this is the start, the very first component of the entire ecosystem. They provide a environment, encouragement, mentor support for developing ideas, business opportunities, nurturing them, and helping select one particular. Like I am also mentor to some of these reputed incubation center. So there are many others also, depending on their industry requirement. So that is one first component of ecosystem. Then either the same incubation center or there are other organizations which will help in preparation of the right kind of project report. EDA, there is an organization called JITCO, and entire gamut of them again. Then come the finance. You know, in the last 10 years, the scenario of finance is changed so much and changed so much for better. All nationalized banks, small or big, every nationalized bank has a separate division now catering to small, medium enterprises, or even MSME, micro, small and medium enterprises. જેને ગુજરાતીમાં કહેવાય સૂક્ષ્મ, લઘુ અને મધ્યમ કક્ષાના ઉદ્યોગ. They have separate cell now to give finance. They are ready, they are willing, they are keen to, and they understand the language, they understand the wavelength of a small entrepreneur. SIDBI, Small Industry Development Bank of India, is a national level institute which has offices in Ahmedabad and Rajkot also. It's exclusively for, as the name suggests, small industries. Then private sector banks, they are now pitching, Axis Bank and UTI Bank, other banks, they are started giving finance. And Gujarat is lucky to have an entire network of the cooperative bank, whether it's a Kalupur Bank, MCO Bank, Nutan Nakri Sakari Bank, Rajkot Nakri Sakari Bank, Visnagar Sakari Bank. There are so many. They also started giving finance to new enterprises. So these are all the financial sources for the general kind of project. Now, if you have something different, out of the way idea, which carries some more risk element, it's a concept, new concept altogether. So a traditional finance institute may hesitate, but there is another segment called venture finance or angel finance. Now, Gujarat Venture Finance as a company, every major bank has a venture financing arm. The venture financing companies, they give finance to the new ideas, compared to new concepts where market has to be created. It may take some more time as compared to traditional product. They join hand. In fact, जो venture finance company होती है ना, वो जो लोन में तो आपको वापस देना होता है immediately. Venture finance company आपको 2 साल या 3 साल तक पैसा वापस नहीं मांगती है, interest भी नहीं लेती है. They join as a kind of partner. Right. So this is a very good component of financing, which is the key requirement of this. And third, of course, is the government itself. Whether it's a central government or state government, is one of the biggest component of ecosystem to get help, backup, market linkages, and of course finance. Government, state government, and national government has so many schemes where they give subsidies, incentives to all the new entrepreneurs, like Startup India scheme is an excellent scheme. Similarly, there is a scheme called Stand Up India scheme. Now, this Stand Up India scheme is exclusively for the women entrepreneurs and SC/ST entrepreneurs. It gives loan at the rate of 4% only. And every nationalized bank branch is giving loan under Stand Up India scheme. So easy. And उसमें कुछ लोगों को रखा नहीं है. one can set up a graphic studio also, one can set up a boutique also, a beauty parlor also, still he or she will be getting the loan. Now, this is the entire ecosystem which has been set up, which is working well, it is operational and fairly smooth, I would say. So the stages we talk about of setting up enterprise, for every stage, there is an ecosystem well set in the market. And the related thing, one was to go to market linkages. Yes, there is a kind of forum where one can join hand with some of the industries, and one was to go to the export thing. There are export promotion councils for every industry. Apparel Export Promotion Council, Food Promotion Council, Plastic Export Promotion Council, Chemical Export Promotion Council. These are the Government of India Export Council working in a professional manner, gives you all the leeway and linkages towards exporting. So this is the entire ecosystem setup. Yes, I would not say that everything is 100% perfect. There are bound to be some gray areas, but as a whole, this ecosystem by now is well set. People have realized that we have to be friendly with the budding entrepreneurs, understand their language. अगर नहीं समझ तो समझाना है. And entrepreneur side, they also have to prepare accordingly. That is what it is. This is the ecosystem. This is well set.
You know, it's nice to know that we have so many, resources available.
Yeah.
But as you rightly said, there is a breed currently, there's a growing community of budding entrepreneurs. Now, clearly, they are aspiring to be entrepreneurs. Okay. And up till now, everything that we have discussed, I think, is definitely adding a lot of value to that whole community and people who are aspiring to be entrepreneurs. But despite so much going for them, there is one insecurity or fear or a nagging question, that I'm sure a lot of people, especially in India, have. Like you were mentioning earlier, that one of the biggest challenges is convincing the Indian household that I don't want to be in the security of a salaried job, but I want to take that risk, because entrepreneurship is considered to be extremely risk taking. They say it is bhaduri ka kaam, or something of that kind. And this often people feel that no, you for that, if your family has already been doing business, or your father's been doing business, your family business, and you're taking over, there is still a chance for you to succeed, or it's better to be in that security. This often makes a lot of people either step back, or at least they feel that, do I need to be born in a business family to be an entrepreneur?
Yeah.
Or is it okay for me to be able to break out of those conventional stereotypes? So
Yes.
is it possible that entrepreneurs don't need to be in a family of entrepreneurs? Can they be made, or do they need to be born to the manor?
Yeah, whether entrepreneurs are born or made, I think very well put. Yeah, I think you are right. This is always the back of the mind question. Let me tell you, this is being debated or no. I remember at this point of time, Dr. Vijay Patel is no more, but he was one of the father figure or the great mentor of entrepreneurship in India, or even at the international level. Dr. Vijay Patel set up first the Center for Entrepreneurship Development at the Government of Gujarat level, which is still running. Then he also set up this EDI, which is a national and international level institute. He was a founder director of EDI. And he always used to say, it is a myth that entrepreneurs have to be born. And in fact, I would like to quote Mr. Peter Drucker also, the management guru. He said, entrepreneurship, there is a lot of myth going on. There is nothing like genes in it. Entrepreneurship is just like a discipline, one more discipline. And one can learn in the discipline, and entrepreneurs can be made. Yes, there are some traits has to be there, but it doesn't necessarily be born. Otherwise, तो entrepreneurship के लिए maternity home चालू हो जाते हैं. Maternity home for the entrepreneurship, of course. But yeah, so it's a well put. No, I would like to give a clear message that every person, he or she can be entrepreneur. Family business है तो शुरू में थोड़ा काम लगता है. But then sometimes it works other way around also. That person becomes too complacent. Every person can be entrepreneur. yes, he has to understand what we discussed now and other things also. He has to go through that understanding, understand what is required to be done, prepare itself. जरूरत पड़े 1-2 साल 2-3 साल काम करना करके मतलब keep in mind कि I want to be an entrepreneur. So he have to go through it. Entrepreneurs वो myth है, mystery है. I would like to quote again thing. It requires a mindset. Our honorable Prime Minister says that mind is not a problem. In a country like India, mind is not a problem. We have a lot of intellectual power. No, I am also in the field of IPR, intellectual property rights. So I always quote this. We have a lot of intellectual power. We have a mind. It is the mindset which is required to be cultivated. A mindset that yes, I can do this. A mindset that I have to prepare for this. A mindset that yes, I have this goal. So over a period of next 4 or 5 years, I am going to make it. That is a mindset we need to do. And that is where the entrepreneurship comes. You know, I can give so many examples, big example, small example. Sun Pharmaceutical, one of the largest pharma company, and Mr. Dilip Sanghvi, one of the richest person after Mukesh Ambani. He didn't have any background into pharmaceutical other business. He's a sole shareholder. In Ahmedabad, I can give several names, including a name like Mr. Ambar Patel. There is a company called Silk Gravers. I am a director on the board, and Ambar Patel is a friend. He engineer from LD College of Engineering, moving around, working for a few years in the companies, moving in the cycle and scooter. Now he is one of the top-notch, highly engineering company manufacturing engineer rollers here in Santej, Ratanpur, doing very well with a German collaboration, having offices in Calcutta, otherwise also 100% self-made entrepreneur, nothing, no business background, totally starting in the manner what we discussed, facing the challenges, getting the opportunities. Another example of somewhat different kind of thing. I have just 1 minute. You know, Mr. Achal Bakeri. Achal Bakeri is a own company called Sanskrit Comfort System, Sanskrit, which is manufacturing the coolers, no, the domestic coolers. It's doing very well. Mr. Achal Bhai comes from a family which is in the business of real estate. अहमदाबाद में जो अच्छी स्कीम होती है अब तक वो बकेरी ग्रुप की होती है. Very nice scheme. He is an architect himself. Then he did MBA from London School of Economics. He decided to go into the business which is totally unrelated of Sanskrit comfort system. उसको बोलते हैं कूलर बनाया.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it failed. सिक हो गई, उसके काफी लेट हो गया. People say अचल भाई को नहीं जाना चाहिए था उसमें. उसका अपना बिजनेस है. He is one person. He decided to come back strongly, did a lot of innovation, did a lot of costing management, did a lot of lean management practices, everything on his own. He is a publicly listed company. उसका शेयर जो ₹2 का हो गया था, it was much higher now. It's one of the turnaround cases of Ahmedabad-based entrepreneur who decided to go. So he's a made entrepreneur. He's not a born entrepreneur. बॉर्न कब होता है, वो अपना खुद का रियल एस्टेट का रिलेटेड बनाता, उसका सीमेंट बनाता फिर भी रिलेटेड होता. इसमें तो कूलर बनाया. He has got 25 patents. He got 40 trademarks and 30 design registrations. It's a lean management company. And this Ambar Patel's case, Sahil Gravers and Achal Bakeri's दोनों case study मैंने बनाए हैं. And when I talk to the MBA people, I tell them to classic example. These are the examples of saying that entrepreneurs can be made. Not necessarily they have to be born. Yes, initial थोड़ा फायदा होता है अगर from your business family, if you have certain genetic trait. I am not saying कि totally ruled out करना, थोड़ा बहुत फायदा होता है, but that is not a limitation, and one cannot sit on that कि नहीं मैं तो business family में से आया हूँ, मेरे में अंदर genes है तो ऑटोमेटिक सब होता रहेगा. ऐसा नहीं होता है. That is a wrong mindset. The right mindset is that everybody can be entrepreneur. Every person who is born can be entrepreneur. Not entrepreneur has to be born. Let us talk it in that manner. I think I would like to answer in that manner. If that is the answer, I can say so.
Very well put, that anyone who's born can be an entrepreneur. You know, like you rightly said, if you have the right mindset, I think it can contribute a lot. Personally speaking also, you know, just to give an example of my journey, when I set up my own content studio about a year ago, it's a content studio called Penny Media, and I did that after a lot of deliberation and a lot of nervousness, facing all these very thoughts that we were discussing. And I come from a family of doctors. So, to a large extent, there has been no connection with, the content field or the media field, because I started off with journalism and I grew deeper into the communications industry and the media industry. And then I went on to set up a content studio. And during that whole point, there have been so many of these thoughts that, you know, can it be done?
Yeah,
You don't come from that background. How will you do it?
absolutely.
And I think majority of India's youth is coming from that kind of a background. A
True.
large part of this whole entrepreneur community, especially the budding entrepreneur community, comes from a background where their families may not be from a business background, may not be entrepreneurs, but they have that desire, and they really want to do something new, something different. And
Absolutely.
I think it's a good time to
That
be
that trade
an
is a very
entrepreneur.
important part of it, and you very rightly said. In fact, the women entrepreneur face more this kind of situation initial phase, because
Yeah,
a
yeah.
women entrepreneur can never be born. It is always they are always made entrepreneurs. That is a classic example. I think you have put it right.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
It's doubly tough sometimes
yeah, yeah,
for a woman. And I think, given the current, schemes which are being provided, the kind of
yeah, yeah.
loans
That is
that are
good thing.
there, it's a good time. There's a lot of encouragement and resources being organized, by through the
Yeah, yeah.
MSME and
This is one of the
Atmanirbhar
best.
Bharat.
One of the best time. It's a very well set ecosystem, and it is now dynamic. It is improving. It is not that
Yeah,
it's not improving.
yeah,
Right.
yeah,
That is
yeah, yeah.
right. Right.
So I think, I'm sure I am very inspired at the end of this conversation.
Thank you.
And I'm sure that people in our audience, other aspiring entrepreneurs, our budding entrepreneurs also, would have definitely felt inspired the way I do. And I hope there are a lot of insights and valuable insights, even for other entrepreneurs who have been on this journey. And it might help them contemporize and get a little contemporary perspective, where entrepreneurship in
Very
India
true.
stands today.
Absolutely, very true. Yeah, yeah. I'm
Thank you
sure
so
that
much.
the right message must have gone through, and I we must thank vyaparjagat.com for creating this platform and providing an opportunity to talk about this important aspect and sending the message through. And this is a ongoing process. So it is not a one-step process. ये एक दिन का या एक सप्ताह का celebration करने की चीज नहीं है. This is a ongoing process. So such kind of
Absolutely.
thing, I'm sure this will continue to evolve, and there could be a set linkages also. From my side, I can always offer that through aparaticket.com, I will be happy to offer whatever mentorship help is required, because our entire idea of everybody of us who are the stakeholder, direct stakeholder, is to see that these things go and take a logical shape further. Okay, this
Yeah.
so much. Initial period is very important for entrepreneurship. Then things automatically fall into places. Initial period we have to take care, and that's good enough. Like that.
Thank you so much for sharing your valuable inputs.
Great pleasure,
And
and you have been very nice. I must compliment you to making me also comfortable.
oh, thank you
Thank you.
so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I'm really very inspired, and I am just
Yeah,
super elated and exhilarated with our conversation. And I think that natural joy is what translated into this beautiful conversation that we could have today.
great pleasure
Uh,
to be there. Yeah.
Yes, to
Yeah.
the audience, I would like to let you all know and give you all a gentle reminder. We are having the Vyapar Jagat Convention and Awards on the 12th of December. Do check out the website. There are going to be a lot more speakers and a lot of things that you all will be able to learn through
That's
our
right.
various conversations and through the beautiful topics that have been chosen. I'm sure you all will be extremely inspired. We are celebrating entrepreneurship in a very big way, and we will also be awarding the pioneers and the successful success stories of the various fields. So be there, and we hope to reconnect with Padman sir again for our convention and through the website as well.
Sure.
Thank you, sir,
Thank you so
for
much.
being here today. And
And thank you all the participants, and wish you all the best. Take care yourself, and continue to be part of this journey. Right.
absolutely, absolutely.
Okay,
All right,
fine.
guys, this is your host Neha Ved signing off for the evening, and we see you in another fireside chat very soon. Stay tuned. Thank you so
Bye
much.
bye. Bye bye.